Hey friends, I'm driving and I'm not looking at the camera, safe. I just want to make a video called "Anxiety is all in your head," and it is true that anxiety is all in your head, and it's all in my head. The mental part of it, and then there's the physical part of it. So there's two types of anxiety. They're tied together. They're related, but they're not the same. There's the mental worry, the mental, this happened to me, that happened to me, blah, 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 blah. All the voices talking. And then there's the physical sensations of anxiety, the tightness in your chest, the burning, the feeling of tightness in your stomach, maybe a lump in your throat. I don't know. And those physical sensations have a cause. Some of it is from maybe some trauma stored in your body in the form of energy. Maybe some of it's caused from, just regular being worn out. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of it is just from physically not taking good enough care of yourself, physically not getting enough rest, physically not getting enough food early in the day, not getting enough calories, physically not exercising every single day, doing something weight bearing so that you can keep muscle on and get your heart rate up. So there are reasons for the physical problems. There might be an underlying health condition, but most likely it's one of these reasons. And the mental part, though, this happened to me. I have PTSD. This is this is going to happen. I can't believe. Oh, if you only knew. All that stuff is only in your head, and we need to, separate the two and realize while they can influence each other, thoughts affect feelings, and feelings can affect thoughts. They're not the same. They're not one thing. You know what I mean? And we can separate them and say, look, okay, this is a feeling, an anxiety, and that's what my thoughts are. Or look, maybe you start to realize that, maybe the story you've been telling yourself about this happened to me, and this is my past, and this is what people did to me, and this is my PTSD or whatever. This is my anxiety, or I can't. I've done that, and I realize, that there is a big difference between the two, that we need to kind of like take a step back and get back to basics, because the basics of all life are drinking water, lots of it, getting enough sleep, and getting enough food. And the food is more important than all of it except for water. Food's even more important than sleep, really, because if you don't have enough food in your system, long term the sleep's going to really hurt. But if you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to have massive anxiety. I've done it in the past. I'm skinny, and I've gained a lot of weight. You wouldn't believe how skinny I was before. I was a lot thinner. And I'll tell you, I'm not having as bad anxiety anymore. And I do take a little tiny bit of cannabis, just like the micro amount. Not enough to get high. At the most, I'll feel a little bit like woozy, like a little bit too relaxed kind of thing. But that's it. That's about it. And so if you're taking cannabis for anxiety, I really don't recommend, it being like a smoke joints all day long sort of thing. I think probably taking it edibly is the best, because it does last the longest. If you smoke pot or vape it's gone in 15-20 minutes, or because if you're taking the proper amount, like if you're not taking too much, it's not going to last that long. If you're taking too much, you might be high for a long time, but that's not what you want. You want to control your anxiety. You want to use it medicinally, not to cover up your emotions or to make you feel, soothe yourself. It shouldn't be to do that. It should be to get the medicinal benefits of it, because there are benefits. And you should probably combine it with CBD too, because there are drawbacks of just consuming THC. CBD mitigates some of that, and then also kind of grows part of your brain as well. It's the hype, I don't know what part of the brain is. Anyways, so really I just wanted to stress this, that these two things are separate. The mental part is all in your head completely. It's a story, it's repeating, it's on autopilot, and it needs to be observed. No matter how insane the mind is, all thoughts can be observed. This basic awareness is like the foundation of our life. Awareness, in many ways, is who we are, because you can take everything away and you still have awareness. And it's only when that awareness is gone that the body's gone. So even if you're in a coma, like there's some sort of awareness, you know what I mean? Like people in comas can be spoken to, like people, like you can, you know, they can have out of body experiences. So the body doesn't, you know, isn't preclude having awareness. That's not the right word. Anyways, it's not a prerequisite to have like a super functioning body. We always have awareness, and we need to direct it, and we need to train it, and wire our brain for health and success. Mindfulness and meditation do that, bringing ourselves back, bringing ourselves back, bringing ourselves back, bringing ourselves back. I did that on purpose because it's important. That, you know, that's what it is. It's all bringing us back to the present moment, realizing that thoughts are going to say whatever. Like, man, if I listen to my thoughts, I'd be dead. I'll tell you that for sure. You know, but if you just say, you know what, those thoughts are not mine. They don't belong to me. I didn't choose to have these thoughts. And if you chose it, then those are your thoughts. But the thoughts that the discursive thinking that comes up, just arises, changes in something else, keeps going, won't stop, and you know, like perseverating on one thing, that's unconscious thinking. That is not who you are. It's just the brain just processing life and repeating and repeating. It's just an untrained mind, you know what I mean? And we all have it, so it's important that we all train it. But it's going to be really hard to manage the thoughts if the body is influencing them, sending emergency messages all the time because of undereating, because of not taking good enough care of the body, not having proper blood flow, like not even being able to, you know, like little small exercises are crushing because you don't do any exercise. You know, if you get your heart rate up every single day in some way, and I'm talking like beating, you know, then the feelings of anxiety won't be so scary. So if they do come, if you do get the racing heart from anxiety, I mean, hopefully you're not taking too much weed because that's a big cause of it. If you're undereating, if you are undereating and you get that, you know, and you've got exercise under your belt, you know, like one, I'm not saying you should, but like one day you don't eat enough. This video is probably terrible because I was driving and I was like probably showing it at the ceiling, but I don't really care. You know, if you have that training in your mind and you're linked up, you know, every time I exercise, I'm doing a good thing for my body and mind, and my heart beats out of my chest. Well, then all of a sudden you're like, you get a racing heart, and it won't be so scary. You won't be so afraid. The other thing about anxiety is exposure therapy. I see people all the time, they avoid this and they avoid that. Of course you want to avoid trauma. But if it's something like it's an irrational fear, it's like a way to, you know, it might seem rational to you because something's happened in the past that's triggered it. But in the moment, if it's like, okay, this is actually, nothing's wrong, it's safe, and the mind is still freaking out about it, well, it's important to expose yourself to those things, like again and again. Like, you know, like I know people that are afraid to go outside, for example, because of their anxiety, and it's like, man, you need to just go outside and speak to people and talk to people and just get over it. You know what I mean? Because it's a mental thing for a lot of it. Got to get your neurotransmitters working properly. The exercise can help with that. Eating enough is the most important thing. You know what I mean? There are some supplements. You know, if you need a neurotransmitter support supplement, go to the health food store and see there's things that have 5-HTP and magnesium and rhodiola and GABA, and you know, like there's one called Joyful, which is really good. You know, take that, but don't think a supplement is going to get you out of anxiety. It's not the answer. The answer is practice proper foundations of living, enough food, getting exercise every day, getting the heart rate up, moving, you know, and if you need to take a little tiny bit of cannabis to get your neurotransmitters right, you know, maybe. CBD is good, you know, but really the food and the exercise and water and not taking in junk, number ones. If those aren't in place, everything's going to be disaster. Peace.